Hello everyone, today we're going to do an overview of the Facebook 360 Workstation and Reaper. This video I would say is one of the core videos of this course because it's the most useful and accessible way to work. If you are working on Pro Tools, you have another video on Pro Tools within the course. Okay, we're going to start off by opening the Reaper template from the Facebook Here 360 Workstation folder, which is located in the program files, Facebook 360 Workstation. Now, if you don't see this Reaper folder in your installation, just install an older version of Facebook 360 Workstation, download from their website. Now in the template we see 4 tracks. There are actually 3 from one kind and 1 from another, but we can change them all. And basically, if we will go over here to the effects panel, we see our Facebook 360 Spatializer. Most of our work is happening over here. Now let's look at the settings over here first. This is the input setting, meaning it asks us what type of audio did we put within the track and how do we want to treat it. For example, this is a mono channel. So if I will do left, right, or mix down, it won't matter because it's a mono channel. But if I had a stereo, it would make a difference. Then we have the B format from FUMA, first order, and B format from MBX. This is the most common one. Then we have stereo. Let's import a stereo track to see what's the difference. I will go ahead and duplicate this track, delete the audio file and the notes, and import a stereo track. Now I just imported an audio from a video, but if your Reaper is not able to do that, just install FFmpeg. Here we see that we have a stereo track, so now I can point out at a stereo and it gives me 2 options for 2 locators. So now I can treat each track separately. And we will go over all those settings within a minute. Then I have 4 channels, 5 channels, 6, 7, and B format in order to reorient the sound. If you have any other spatial recording that's not from here, you can go to the Facebook encoder and encode it to one of these formats. We have a video about the Facebook encoder in the course. If I would like to insert a higher order spatial sound or the Facebook 360 format sound, I can do that by duplicating one of those tracks just to maintain the routing. And then in the effects panel, I will delete the Spatializer and add the Facebook 360 converter. Here in the converter, I can change the input and the output. Let's see how that affects. That is the wrong format because this is, and here are the output. The correct output would be the MBX second order because this is what our 3D master is outputting to. But I just want you to feel the difference between them because sometimes it can be used for your own benefit. One last thing, you will notice over here that you can load a video into the video player. The thing about the video player is that it's supporting only very specific formats. And those formats are very specific and heavy to export. We have a whole video discussing a workaround. And you can also check out the Meridian plugin from Here 360, which can solve this need. Now let's go over our Spatializer settings.
Second tornado in 8 days.
First I would like to quiet this track down. Now, important to say that any other effect that you're putting on the track has to come before the Spatializer. The Spatializer has to be the last one in the list in order to work.
Second tornado in 8 days hit Ontario. The first was in Windsor a week ago yesterday. Last night another one.
Okay, I put an ambient sound just for having it.
To go yesterday. Last night another one whirled across the international boundary.
Now the first settings are talking about position.
Days hit Ontario. The first was in Windsor a week ago yesterday. Last night
Change the azimuth like that.
days hit Ontario.
Elevation.
The first was in Windsor a week ago yesterday.
Which isn't being felt that much if it's closer.
Days hit Ontario. The first was in Windsor a week ago yesterday.
Distance.
Days hit Ontario. The first was in Windsor a week ago yesterday. Last night another one
And
whirled
spread.
across the international boundary and struck Fort Francis. Jack McLaren.
Now if I want, I can
Days
just
hit Ontario. The
hold
first was in Windsor a week ago yesterday.
in position. Now attenuation is something that's a little bit more difficult to experience when you're mixing
Days.
because you're not moving your head and it's less present while you're mixing.
Days hit Ontario. The first was in Windsor a week ago yesterday.
But basically that will determine how loud we hear the sound when we're further and closer away from it.
Days hit Ontario. A week ago yesterday. Last night another one whirled across the international boundary and struck Fort Francis. Jack McLaren.
You can hear a little bit of the difference. If you have the 3.2 and older version installed, you would also find the directionality settings. In these settings, I can basically reorient the sound source and decide how pointed the sound source is going to be.
McLaren of CKFI interviews a man who dodged a rowboat and a building in the storm.
Life in Fort Francis is gradually returning to normal today after the worst storm in the history of the town. Citizens were hard at work today, clearing lines, trucking away fallen trees, and repairing buildings.
This tool is very effective to make your sound feel a bit more real. Dupler
Days
effect.
hit Ontario. The first was in Windsor a week ago yesterday. Last night another one whirled across the international boundary and struck Fort Francis.
The one most important thing about the Doppler effect is that if you are moving and automating your sound, you want to make sure that this is on, unless it will hear very choppy when it's moving between the channels.
Days hit Ontario. The first was in Windsor a week ago yesterday.
And the level is the amount of the effect.
Days hit Ontario. The first was in Windsor a week ago yesterday. Days hit Ontario. The first was in Windsor a week ago yesterday.
Okay, room. Now in order to understand the room settings, we need to go over here to the control plugin and go to the effects. Over here we see the global room, meaning everything within the mix will be changed based on the size of the room that you're going to determine over here.
Last night another one whirled across the international boundary and struck Fort Francis. Jack McLaren of CKFI interviews a man who dodged a rowboat and a building in the storm.
Life in Fort Francis is gradually returning to normal today after the worst storm in the history.
Kind of hard to determine. Oh, maybe it's because the room over here was not on. Great, now let's see how it affects. And this Spatializer is for spot 1. I'm turning on the room over here as well. Now let's try it again.
Last night another one whirled across the international boundary and struck Fort Francis. Jack McLaren of CKFI interviews a man who dodged a rowboat and a building in the storm.
Life in Fort Francis is gradually returning to normal today after the worst storm in the history of the town. Citizens were
Still
hard at work
not
today,
very
clearing
present.
lines, trucking away fallen trees, and repairing buildings. Electric power was restored to most sections of the town today, but some areas may still be in darkness tonight.
Okay, that's about the room. Now, if I would change, I would go over here Let's solo this out for a second.
Where's the peck of pickled peppers? A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter...
And I see that since I have a spatialized sound format, either one of those, my settings are only for reorienting the spatialized sound.
Pickled peppers, a peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?
Okay, now basically when you're gonna now insert your own sound to Reaper, you're just gonna duplicate those tracks and work from them. Yes, you can definitely reroute your project in order to make it work within the Facebook plugins, but I would just not recommend that. It's creating a lot of work and it's risking that the sound will not work. Lastly, about the plugin, over here on the 3D master,
Pickled peppers,
we can
peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked.
reorient
If Peter
the
Piper
whole
picked a peck
mix.
of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled...
Another effect we will find in the 3D master is our limiter, which is necessary because it's controlling multiple channels, and most limiters that you will meet will support only stereo. Okay, now if I would like to automate this sound, I would go over here to where it says trim, and I would change the automation mode to touch. Now every change that I will perform while it's playing is going to be written into an envelope.
Second tornado in 8 days hit Ontario. The first was in Windsor a week ago yesterday. Last night, another one whirled across the international boundary and struck Fort Frances.
Okay,
Hit Ontario. The first was in Windsor a week ago yesterday. Last night, another one whirled across the international boundary.
you can automate all of the settings within those plugins. Now, if I would like to change something, I can do it within here, or most recommended is just to clean the envelope and reperform.
Tornado in 8 days hit Ontario. The first was in Windsor a week ago yesterday. Last night, another one whirled across the international boundary and struck Fort Frances.
Now you saw that this automation over here have changed because my movement over here affects the azimuth and the distance. Okay, now over here in these tracks, these are the headlock. Headlocks is usually for VO or music, means that it's a stereo sound that is being distributed to the both ears equally regardless of the movement. The thing to know about the headlock is not all platforms are supporting it. You have a whole video discussing headlocks which you should check out. But for now, I would just ignore those tracks. If I would want to export, the headlock is from over here, and if I would like to export the spatialized mix, it's from over here. Now in order to export, you need to stand on the master track and go over here to render and change that to time selection and put your settings. Notice that you're still on 8 channels. You have a whole separate video about exporting as well. You also have a few demonstration videos within the course which are going more in depth about how to work with the plugins and doing the actual work. This one is just more of a general overview. One last thing, you cannot save over here on this template because the template is protected, so just go and save project as. Alright, see you in the next videos.